So hi, this is Volkan Sakman. I'm working in Hasçelik GmbH in Düsseldorf, and I'm sales and marketing manager here. So I would like to tell you about steel today, and so I would like to show you the topic that I'm going to tell you today. So general information about steels and global steel production areas of consumption, processes and products, and special steel bars that we are actually proficient, and difference between hot rolled and bright bars, production of hot rolled bars, production of bright steel bars, and fields of applications. So Hasçelik is one of the largest hot rolled and bright steel special steel bar manufacturer in Turkey with 420,000 tons per year production capacity. And we established in 1968 in Konya as a distribution center. And after that, we opened our bright steel facility in Konya. And then we just came to Istanbul, which has much bigger market in the Turkey as a distribution center. And after that, we opened our bright steel facility and opened our special steel hot rolling mill, which is raw material of bright steel bars. And after that, we opened our bright steel facility in Istanbul, which is most modern bright steel manufacturer in Turkey. And 4 years ago, we became a holding as Fayda Suçok Holding. And Fayda Suçok is the surname of our founder. And last year, we opened our offices in Germany and in England. So we call it Hasçelik GmbH and Hasçelik Steel UK. And we open our stock warehouse in Antwerp as well. So we are very powerful in our export department. So we export in 5 different continents and 67 different countries, from North America till New Zealand, Australia. And as you see here, our office in Germany is located in Düsseldorf, and headquarters is in Istanbul, and warehouse in Antwerp, and we have one more warehouse in England, which belongs to our office called Hasçelik UK Limited. And as you see here in this chart, like we are more powerful in Europe. So 51% of our export to Europe. So as you know, automotive is very improved in Europe. That's why it shows that our capacity and quality is really matching with European customers, European solution partners. And 33% to America, 14% Middle East and Africa, and for the rest, Asia. So why is steel so important to our life? So wherever you look at your around, you see steels in bridges, in cars, houses, everywhere. Even bottles of plastics are produced by machines which are produced by steel. So steel is powerful in durability and quality, strong but flexible in design when you heat it, cost efficiency. So as you know, the raw material of steel is iron ore, and iron ore is extracted from the ground. So the raw material of steel is actually in the nature. That's why it's pretty cheap to extract it, and recyclable, which is most important. Steel is the most recyclable materials in the world. So I would like to tell you about also production here. So the sectors of steel use is 41% of construction, 14% of pipe, 11% of automotive, 15% of metal products, 2% of white goods. And here, as you see, the most production of steel is made by Chinese for 54%. But the Turkey, as you see here, in the top 10. So the most production for steel in Europe is actually producing in Turkey and Germany. And how steel is producing? So there are two types of production of steel. One is electric arc furnace, second one is blast furnace. So what is the advantages of blast furnace? Is you can produce more steel in a cast. But in electric arc furnace, you can produce maybe 100 or 150 or 200 tons in a cast. And you can use in blast furnace iron ore as a raw material, iron ore, lime, stone, and coke. But in electric arc furnace, you can use scrap. And as you all know, steel production is increasing day by day. So after usage of steel, we have to recycle somehow. So in this case, electric arc furnace is actually much more efficient than blast furnace. And where we are in the production cycle is just right here in the middle. So we produce from billets, hot rolled bars, and cold rolled bars. And what is special steel? Special steel is used in industrial areas and produced with additional methods to the standard steel production methods and contains different alloying elements. So compared with ordinary steel, special steel has higher mechanical strength. When you have like hot forming of the ordinary steel, which we use billets, so you are making smaller grain sizes, which is getting more suitable for forging or more suitable for bending. And better physical and chemical properties. Better physical means we are supplying, for example, 100 by 100 square meter billets. But end customer needs for sure some smaller sizes of rounds. So we are hot forming of the billets of the ordinary steel to make better physical position and more toughness. And I mean better dimensional tolerance and higher performance. And what is difference between hot rolled bars and cold finish bars? Hot rolled bars is producing by billets. And it has, of course, like more efficient of costs because there is no further production process after hot rolling bars if it's required. But for cold finish bars, has much more efficient in mechanical properties. So it's like when you consider gun, chewing gun, what we chew. So you are pulling from both sides and you're making in the middle is much better surface and much better mechanical properties. So it's getting harder and you're making, I mean, you're increasing tensile and yield strength in it. So the cold rolling process is the same as we are pulling up the chewing gum. Fields of applications. So we are working, I mean, our solution partners are working in automotive, in agricultural sector, defense sector, machine sector, white goods, mining, transmission parts, steering systems, suspension systems, stabilizer bars. So we are trying all our customers to give much better specification. If there is a need, we are improving of the specification of end users of these kind of companies which are working for. And you can see grades here. So what we name for the steels actually. So construction steel, we name it, for example, S235. So 235 shows here maximum yield strength is 235 Newton millimeter square. Or carbon steels, it shows that carbon content, how much is carbon content, and case hardening steels, heat treatable steels, spring steels, microalloy steels, and free cutting steels. So all these grades that we can produce in our hot rolling mill and our cold rolling mill. Hot roll special steel bar manufacturing. So we are located in Istanbul, and we have 40,000 square meter production site, and closed area is 25,000 square meter, and production capacity is 250,000 tons. And our sizes between 19 millimeters up to 120 millimeters. So all these sizes, I mean, this cycle is changing every month. So if there's a production of 20 millimeter today, 20 millimeter will be produced next month. And we actually currently have IATF 16,949. So which is actually like so technical specification aimed at the development of a quality management system that provide for continued improvement, emphasizing defect prevention and the reduction of variation and waste in automotive industry, in supply chain and production. So it is based on ISO 9001, which is actually required by automotive industry. So how we produce hot rolling bars? So on the left side, you see billets, which is our raw materials. And these billets are heating in reheating furnace after incoming control of steel billets, as you see in the middle side of the picture. So like the billets that we use is 150 by 150 millimeter, 160 by 160 millimeter, 200 by 200 millimeter billets of sizes. And we can produce these billets up to 20 millimeter. And we are heating our reheating furnace up to 1200 Celsius degree. And after heating billets, the billets come through a water jet line in order to remove all the scales on the surface. For example, these scales, I was talking about recyclability. These scales are using in white goods area. So in all this dirt of the steel is used in all kinds of different industries. And as you see some pictures of our hot rolling mill here. And after production of hot rolling bars, we are transferring the bars to the crack control lines. And we are evaluating cracks, not by sampling, we are evaluating 100% of the bars. So we check all single bars in our crack control lines. This is very important to end users. And we have two control lines. One is surface defect control, one is internal defect control. So surface defect control based on magnetic flux linkage. And internal defect control is based on rotating water. So we are capable to guarantee from class A for surface defect control up to class B. And for internal defects, we are capable to guarantee from ultrasonic class 1 up to 4. But for some special requirements, we are capable to get out of the standards of EN 10308 and give much better internal defect control. And heat treatments. So we are doing in our heat treatments furnace annealing and stress relieving. and our capacity is 60 tons per charge, and dimension between what we produce actually in our rolling mill from 19 millimeters up to 120 millimeters. So why we do this? Because if there's a requirement of from machining companies, and if they machine the hard materials, if the materials has chromium, this material is hard enough to peel it. So in this case, we are reducing hardness, I mean increasing ductility. So in this case, the machines are much much easy to peel it, this materials, for example. And we do also stress relieving. So when you cut the materials, you bring all the stress in one point. So in that case, you have to relieve of the stress. So we are capable to stress relieve of our materials that we produce in our hot rolling mill. And special steel bar manufacturing. So this company is just 1 kilometer away from hot rolling mill. So bright steel products needs raw material for hot roll bars, which we actually produce. So our hot rolling mill and bright steel mill is working systematically together through SAP. So that's why if there is some order, directly hot rolling mill sees what is actually demanded for bright bars and giving customers much short time for production. And our production site is 31,000 square meter and closed area is 20,000 square meter. And capacity for bright steel bars is 170,000 tons per year. So as you see here, all what we produce. So we produce from 5 millimeters up to 150 millimeters. So there are different type of production of bright steel bars. One is cold rolling, one is peeling, and one is grinding. So we have two lines from coil to bar. We supply coil from different sources, and we have capacity of 65,000 tons per year for small sizes. We produce in this two lines from 5 millimeters up to 28 millimeters, and we can guarantee up to H9 tolerance. And bar to bar lines, we have two lines as well, origin from Europe, and capacity of 60,000 tons per year. And we can produce here from 18 up to 100 millimeters, and tolerance up to H9. And our peeling process. So the peeling process is a little different than cold rolling. So this is a kind of machining of raw materials. So in this here, in cold rolling process, you're improving mechanical properties. But in peeling process, the raw material of round bars of hot rolled is staying the same. Only we are making much more bright than hot rolled bars on the surface. And we can produce in our two line here from 15 up to 150 millimeters, up to H9 dimension tolerance. And we have grinding process, 10,000 tons per year capacity. And here we are able to produce up to H7. So if customers needs much precise dimension tolerance, we are having the cold rolled or peeled materials to our grinding process. And surface crack control. So our capacity is 10,000 tons per year, and we are capable to check on the surface of the metals between 5 to 60 millimeter up to class 4 in first step machine in Germany. And I would like to tell you about oiling as well. So bright steel bars is actually capable to have rust on the surface because you are cold deforming the materials. That's why we have to use something just to avoid of the rusts, of the corrosions. And after production of cold rolled bars, we are oiling on the surfaces with anti-corrosion oils. So, for example, we are shipping the materials to South America, to Australia. So materials is staying in the containers for over 1 month. And we have to avoid of having some rust on the surface of the materials. So after years, we innovated our oiling system as well. And now it's working pretty well. And I would like to tell you in this page about our innovations. We call it high performance special steel. So we introduce here a non-standard measurement of mechanism. So we aim to be out of the standard and reach better straightness tolerance. For example, EN 10278, which is called finished bar standard, requires 1 millimeter straightness from 1 meter. So high performance steel innovation, we are capable to reach 0.5 millimeter per meter and aiming 0.3 millimeter per meter for cold drawn bars. And companies working with high speed rotation processes need to avoid ovality for sure. So that's why we innovated this innovation called high performance special steel, who we are working like ZF or Meissen Mando, something like these companies.
Mr. Sackmann, I hate to interrupt, but we are close to the end of our time, and we like to have the webinar sessions overlap as little as possible. Can you wrap up in a couple short minutes? Thank you.
And yeah, so I would like to just tell you about our educational foundation. I'm actually like end of my presentation. So all innovation in high quantities of production, or there were like stabilities in the markets in 67 different countries, is related developing of the values of our engineers. So in here, I would like to tell you that we are carrying off ladies of engineer students in the college. So as you know, in all over the world, the engineers are mostly men, maybe 80%, even more. That's why we would like to increase of the ladies in our industries. And we are giving employment support, scholarship, internship support, academy, presentation in high schools, and mentoring. So thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, please just write on the place on the right side.
Thank you, Mr. Sackmann. That was just in time with your presentation. Thank you so much. Also, thank you for your patience on the onboarding process. We have 4 questions so far. I would say 3 of them are mostly regarded to specific questions about whether you have a distribution in Romania and Antwerp. If you have any questions to Mr. Sackmann, you can always contact him either with a reference that we have in the webinar sessions or with all the contact information you find here. One question we probably can pull up just now is, what is your opinion about the reasons that European companies prefer or not prefer to supply bright steel from Hasçelik in the Turkey market? Can you evaluate on that? What makes your bright steel favorable?
So for bright steel you ask, right?
Yes.
So the bright steel part, like actually, so I was telling you about export. So for example, the export from Turkey for bright steel bars, we are actually like having 51% of export of the Turkey. So in this case, the production in Turkey is cheaper than Europe first. And secondly, we are having stock in Antwerp. So there is no need for importing. So we are keeping stock in Antwerp and shipping directly to European customers. So that's why this is our advantage. And of course, like besides, you have to have much better, better quality in the market, and you have to be known. So we invested our office and warehouse in Antwerp because we already proved ourselves in European markets, and we came here and keep stock, clear this by ourselves, and shipping as a European company. I think this can be the answer of the person who asked.
Thank you. I think that's quite a good answer. Everybody else, thank you for attending. Thank you, Mr. Sackmann, for this interesting presentation. As already specified, you can contact him with the channels displayed right now. This session will also be recorded and then uploaded a little later so that you can also review it if you want to on your own time. So far, thank you. We don't want to overlap with the other web sessions too much, so we'll say goodbye for now and hope to see you in other web sessions over this week or even this afternoon. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening again.